Hey guys, Skipper T here again. Today, a friend of mine by the name of Jerry let me borrow his Laplander saw and thought maybe we would test that out today. Everybody probably knows all about the Bahco Laplanders. They're a really nice little saw. It's about 8 inches, 9 inches overall in length. Folds down, locks into position. It's got a nice handle up here, a switch button that you can push to unlock it. Folds out, locks into position so it won't, obviously snap back and get your fingers. It's got a fairly aggressive blade pattern on it. And again, everybody's pretty much familiar with this particular saw, but I've never used one. So I've got a, 2.5, 3 inch round piece of wood here. It's been sitting out in my backyard for a while, and thought maybe we'd see if it would saw down through that. And obviously it will. That was pretty painless actually. We'll try it again on the other side of this knot here, see if we can find a place where it'll sit down pretty smooth. In my first attempt to saw there, one of the first things I did notice was that I was bearing down on the saw, trying to make it go down through the wood itself. It tends to do a pretty good job of sawing down through without a lot of downward pressure on it. So, you don't have to wear yourself out while you're sawing a piece of wood here. Let the teeth do the work. Just be patient. No point in burning 1,000 calories just to split a small piece of wood like this, or rather to saw through a smaller piece of wood like this. But yeah, extremely effective. Goes through there nicely. You could probably do something twice the size of this in relation to the saw blade. If it was twice its size, about like this. The only problem with this is that it does have kind of a smaller handle on it, so you're going to be limited to the size wood that you can take and cut down into smaller pieces. But overall, it seems to go through this pretty well. Now this is a pretty dead limb. It's been laying in my backyard for a couple of months now as we're going through the winter. It is January, towards the end of January in the central US. It's about 40 degrees Fahrenheit out here. Make that roughly 4 degrees Celsius, 3 degrees Celsius outside, so it's kind of nice. I'm in a long sleeve shirt but with a vest on, and doing this is working out pretty nicely. Overall, I have to tell you, I'm pretty impressed with the saw. Push the button, folds back up. Teeth are completely covered inside the handle itself. This has really done kind of a magnificent little job here. I'm rather enjoying this. Person could definitely process some wood down. Now from here, I have to figure out a way to secure the other end of that. Boy, I tell you what, make short work of that. That's going through pretty good. Gotta tell you, overall, that's an impressive little saw. And just so that you guys know, I'm left-handed, so I was just cutting that right-handed. And, I had no problems operating the saw. It appears to be ambidextrous. Anyway, overall, I like it. It's got a good grip. It's got a good handle. It seems to saw down through the wood very nicely. You're probably wondering why I'm making so many cuts. Probably because I'll do a knife video here in a minute. and I'll baton down through these little pieces just to show you how well a couple of the knives that I have will go down through the wood. When it gets short like this, you've got to let the blade do its work. Excellent. That made short work of that. That was very easy. Didn't burn 1,000 calories. But I think that would be mighty handy to have in one's backpack. So I'll have to get a hold of my friend, let him know that I've tested it out, meets with my approval. Of course, there's 1,000 people out there that have reviewed this saw, but overall, guys, I think this is well worth the money. It's super lightweight, it's easy to carry. I will say this, I have the Corona saw, and I've done a review on the Corona saw. If I was going to carry one with me and really go out into the wilderness for more than a day or two, I'd probably carry the Corona. Number one, the blade's probably half again, if not twice this length. Weight-wise, it's a touch heavier than this one, obviously just due to the size. Its teeth are a little bit more aggressive. This one would be absolutely ideal for making smaller cuts. You know, if you wanted to notch a small piece of wood, put two parallel cuts beside each other. You know, if you were going to notch out a piece of wood and then, you know, use it to hang a pot or something like that, I'd probably go with something like this, just because it's so easy to deal with. Small. Now with that cut like that, I could easily bust out those pieces in between with a knife blade or something like that, or even this saw blade, as it turns out. Wouldn't do that very often. You can kind of dress and clean up the inside of that with a circular type motion. Now you've got a notched out piece of wood. You know, you could make a trap, you could use, you know, lots of different things with that. This saw, I think, would excel in that particular aspect of things because it's got the blades aren't quite as aggressive as the Corona saw. I'm sure the Corona saw would do that as well. But that really made for a nice fine cut. Anyway, guys, really like this particular piece of equipment. I think I'll acquire one for myself. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, keep your eyes open, keep your heads up. We'll see you outside.